How about a Coppola quick facts?
Couple of quick facts. I literally only have a couple things because there's not very much information on this movie. I did a little bit of research. I tried to translate a couple of things that were in Italian about the film and like try to glean some information, but there really wasn't anything that wasn't like Nicolas Cage is a star who's been in Moonstruck and stuff like that. It's like, but yeah, it was shot entirely in Zimbabwe, which I'm curious of like how. So like there's these scenes at the docks, like where they're, by the ocean and stuff. And I think Zimbabwe is also completely landlocked, but maybe borders have changed. I don't know. But Ethiopia is definitely landlocked. So I don't know how they got on big ships to go back to Italy. I mean, it's landlocked now, so it might have been open back then. But I did Google it at one point of like what was the border in like 1912 or whatever, whenever this might have taken place.
1936.
1936?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you get 1936 from?
I found it online when I was looking up the movie because I was trying to figure out where the hell it even took place at all.
Okay.
And yeah, it said 1936 in Ethiopia.
Right on. Okay.
So
maybe my Googling was off. But
yeah, that's why it ends with, we all thought we were going to go home and be farmers, and that's not what happened. And it didn't.
But it didn't. This is the only film, as I mentioned in the opening, that was ever done with Cage outside of the Hollywood system. Every other piece that he's ever done has been within Hollywood. And I don't know. I couldn't find any information as to why he decided to do this movie. Maybe he was embracing his Italian roots, or maybe his uncle was like, you should go over here and work with my friend, because Coppola did work with Italian studios at one point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
If we ever meet him, add it to the list.
Why did you do
Time
Time to Die or Time to Kill?
When we meet him. We're going to interview him one day.
He'll be like, I was in that? I don't even remember that movie. You saw
What
that
I'm
one?
talking about? I was never in a movie called Time.
Maybe he doesn't like to talk about it, given the character.
Oh,
he had
yeah,
to
I
play.
went to Africa.
Yeah.
Remember that.
We actually shot that in Italy. And there was a cross on my window one morning.
It's nearly... Go ahead.
It does feel like a tangent he would go on.
Yeah.
It always brings up the weirdest shit when somebody asks him a question.
I remember I had a really hard time talking to the
thing
locals.
That video we sent where he's like talking about Brando, and then he like goes into talking about Jerry Lewis and
Yeah,
a
he goes
live
into
show
Jerry
that he
Lewis.
went to, and like, what?
I was hoping he'd be saying, and we were in a movie. It was called The Trust. And
It's like, Jesus
but that's
Christ,
not what I'm
it's your
talking
friend.
about. I went to the store. Jesus Christ!
That's all he said. It was great.
That's all he said.
It's exactly what I hoped for.
We only had 30 minutes to do the scene. That's what we got.
He had to go back to the old folks' home. As I said, this is nearly completely out of print. Mostly only bootlegs exist. I'm hoping at some point, just because of who Cage is, maybe they'll do a scan, but I really doubt it. I feel like this one's going to be slowly just lost to time.
Yeah.
I would imagine maybe the rights have lapsed and nobody owns it and nobody cares to
Yeah, maybe.
try and
I mean, if
sell
you upscaled this, put it on a Blu-ray, and just did a limited release, you'd make your money back easy.
Oh, God, yeah.
Though I guess it does cost a lot to scan film and all that stuff, but whatever. I bought a DVD copy off of eBay. And it was clearly homemade, as I said. So I think I paid like $20 for it. Not the one I've paid the most for. I think I've paid the most for Vampire's Kiss
Sucker.
before it got reprinted like 6 months later.
I paid $10, I think, for that.
yeah, just some Blu-ray on Amazon now.
Yeah. And then finally, this is the only Cage film that was released in 1989 besides Never on Tuesday. So I guess Vampire's Kiss did do more damage to his career than we thought it did. Because holy
crazy.
shit, this movie and Never on Tuesday. No, to be fair, he was working with Lynch on Wild at Heart in '89, so
Which brought him back.
I brought him back, and then he did like Firebirds and all those films and stuff right after that.
Yeah. It's crazy, like his early films. Like reflecting on it more lately, just kind of going back even through what we've done, because we've hit a lot of his early shit recently again. It's crazy to see this, like the range that he did during that time.
Yeah.
And I think Vampire's Kiss might have killed him if it hadn't been for David Lynch.
Yeah, Lynch kind of brought him back into the fold. Yeah, I mean, I think that's partially what the issue was like he had so many different crazy characters that people didn't know where to like put him. Like, okay, I can't put him in a movie where he just plays a guy. He's got to play some crazy weirdo in everything he does. So I don't know. I get it.